I'm going on an adventure!
You may quest the way you like. I will quest the way I like.
What is your quest?
This is the first stop on your first quest. We shall go together.
What kind of a quest?
An ancient seer who helps many on their quest.
If it's for the quest, we will do what needs to be done. Will be my quest. For the quest.
Your quest.
Let us quest! This quest sucks.
A TV show, and it's called Quest for 100, episode 4. Welcome to episode 4, everybody. How y'all doing today? Hopefully you enjoyed the song as much as I enjoyed making it, especially the amount of time I spent, which was 0 seconds.
That was some epic freestyle, actually. I should have got that. I don't know. I can't.
You know, not one of my strongest points either, so don't worry about it. I won't blame you.
Love it.
The quest is back, everybody. Episode 4. We know it's been a long time. Episode 3 has just debuted, and episode 4 is on its way. We're gonna get these things moving and smoothing so much quicker and faster. So be ready for them to start coming out hot and in a hurry. But let's get started with the show, man. B, what's up, dude?
Dude, it feels good to be back podcasting with you. It's been, for those that don't know, and they just grab their iTunes or their Stitcher or whatever, we're actually a week behind on podcasting. I had some family stuff kind of come up, had to deal with real life issues. I did get to watch all my movies. I'm up to date. I might even be ahead. Maybe not. I'm up to date though.
Yeah, up to date. Yes.
No 50 Shades. No Hurricane Heist.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, Hurricane Heist is actually what I'm most afraid of in this world right now. Just because I made a decision with one of the last movie I saw. There was 2 shows available, 2 movies available, and both of them started within 10 minutes. And one of them was Hurricane Heist. And I literally walked up to the ticket counter with my movie pass, and I said, "Not fucking Hurricane Heist. Let's just do it this way." So
anything except for Hurricane Heist, please.
Anything but 600 million at 600 miles an hour, please.
And then they said one for Black Panther, and you're like, "Ah, damn, I've already seen that."
I mean, I've seen it twice. So Love Simon, it was great, and I'll talk about that a little later. Love Simon was phenomenal. So. But let's talk a little bit, dude. Have you seen any cool trailers, any new movie news or history stuff you've learned about that you want to talk about?
Okay, well, couple things, I guess. One, I gotta look it up now. See now, because we put in so much preparation for this show. It's insane. Like I forget how much stuff I was looking up, so I just gotta check my notes real quick.
Do it.
Okay, Google. Look up the movie title. The movie I'm thinking of, I think it's called Little Feet.
Little Feet? Isn't that the Penguin movie?
No, that's
Happy Feet. That's Happy.
Maybe it's called Little Foot. It's man. So I gotta look up Little Foot movie, Little Feet movie, Little Feet, Small Feet, something like that. Anyway, it's the cartoon movie. I saw it when I watched I want to say Year One, and I know that's not right.
Oh, Early Man?
Yeah. When I watched Early Man, they were showing all these different like cartoon movies, and so I saw the preview for it, and it's like a bunch of Yetis, and they're telling their kids stories about.
Oh yes, okay, yeah. I did see the trailer for that, and that actually looked pretty good. Yeah.
Like, it looks kind of funny.
Yeah, that did.
I think it was a Pixar.
I think it's DreamWorks, maybe.
It was DreamWorks.
I think it was DreamWorks. But yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about. The Yeti, the new Yeti movie. That did look that looked much more entertaining than Smallfoot, not Bigfoot, Smallfoot.
Yeah, and
Okay.
It was super funny because they're talking about how like the Smallfoot is so scary, and they're more scared. And then one of them's like, they're probably more scared of you than they are of us, and the one comes out and has a shoe, and it's like this little shoe, and everybody freaks out because that one looked really funny.
Nice.
I love cartoons, so that one looked pretty cool. What about you?
Yeah, I'm a huge cartoon fan. I love going to the movies. I love watching animation of any sort. I'm a big fan of it. I sometimes oversell it to people because I get so excited about the animation stuff. So I'm just like, you got to see this. It's
and then we
so
run
great.
into an early Man, and
yeah, and then I go to Early Man, and I'm like, okay, that was rough. Or I go to Peter Rabbit, and the animation's like phenomenal, but the whole time I'm in there, I'm just like, oh man, James Corden is bad.
yeah, I watched half of that movie actually. I didn't watch it in theater though, so
Yeah,
but I did see the second half of the movie.
surprisingly, just how good those rabbits were done was ridiculous. Like, just crazy how good they looked on that.
There was a part where I stopped and I was like, am I watching a movie? And I actually had to ask my wife, I was like, wait, is this a movie or is it a cartoon? Because like it was excuse me, because it was like a mix, right?
Mhm.
I mean, it had like live action with the character, and it was done pretty well as far as that goes. But
Yeah,
storyline
absolutely.
and all that's a whole nother situation.
Yeah, and that's a whole second. That's the second part of movies and film. So one of the things though that I'm just crazy jacked up for right now though was the new Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald dropped, and let me tell you what, I was running around like, and here's the thing, man. Like I love Harry Potter. Like I'm not afraid to admit it. Like I love the Potter series. Like the first book came out when I was in 4th grade, and I remember like every year for for a couple of years there, like that was like the book at school was the new Harry Potter. And I remember growing up with those books kind of at the same time like Harry was, and it was just like it was one of those books that really hit at that perfect time for me growing up. And I love the stories, I love the movies, I love the books. Fantastic Beasts, in my opinion, like I know a lot of people didn't even see it, they just kind of skipped over it. I really loved the first Fantastic Beasts. So
I just watched it again actually, and I've seen it multiple times, but I just watched it like a week ago, and I was like, man, I forgot how good this movie is, and how much I love it, and how much I miss that world. And I got, there's people that complain about the whole, because it's happened in America, and the Muggle versus the Nomad, and I'm like, shut up! I want more Harry Potter stuff. Like, I love it. I love it too, man.
Well, and yeah, and I can't
my
wait.
Kids love it too, so it's like it's cool too to be able to go watch something as a family and just nerd out over it.
Yeah, and it's something that's and they're so dark is what I love about the Potter stuff, right? They're so dark, they're so good, and it's just a lot of fun, man. Like they're not this really super lighthearted thing. The first couple of Harry Potter stuff was, but once it got after 3rd, 4th book, even the movie, I mean, it got dark, and Fantastic Beasts really carried that theme really, really well. And the Crimes of Grindelwald, you can say what you want about Johnny Depp or anybody like that going in as Grindelwald, but man, it's just going to be, I'm so excited for that story. Yeah. I can't wait to see the Dumbledore Grindelwald fight, Newt Scamander fighting everybody. Oh, it's going to be great. It's going to be awesome.
And Newt's brother, you guys saw a quick little clip of him in the movie as well, and we got all these people that are coming back as well.
Yep.
It looks awesome. Jude Law looks awesome as Dumbledore.
Looks great as Dumbledore, right?
I was a little worried, and then like he does the whole, like you're seeing the back of his head, and then he turns around, and I'm like, all right, yeah. And he even kind of had a little bit of the speech mannerisms, like the really kind of the slower pace delivery of some of his words, even.
Yep, absolutely.
Really matched to me in my head, like matched Dumbledore. So I was like, man, I'm down for this movie. I can't wait for November 14th, 16th, 17th, 18th, one of those three.
I thought it said August. Oh yeah, 11/14 I think is what it was. Yeah, 11/14 I think is what it was. But no, I'm really excited for it for a couple reasons. First, as you guys can see, I turned the light on, so I have a light. All of a sudden, I'm not dark over here in this creepy dungeon.
Might have used your illuminator.
Yeah, I lose click. Yep, Deluminator. But one of the things is like this is taking place in like the 20s, 1920s, 30s. I don't think people realize how old Dumbledore was in those books. Mm-hmm. He was one of the longest living wizards of all time at that point. Him and Nicholas Flamel. And I think this is really cool. I think this is a great place to have him. I think Jude Law takes on that time period perfect for a Dumbledore character, and that trailer looked fantastic.
Yeah, it did. It didn't give away anything, but what I like about it is it showed us. It more was for me was character driven.
Yes,
like it showed us Newt, showed us Newt's brother, showed us Not Bellatrix Lestrange.
No,
but
it showed us one of the other Lestranges that he had a picture of her in the first one.
Showed us we got to see Credence again.
Yep.
So we got to clearly see him in the trailer, and he looked angry.
Yes. Yeah, it kind of just, I mean, and I really like Ezra Miller in that role, so I thought that was awesome to see his face pop up again in that. Dan Fogler, my man. Oh, I'm so happy he's back. Like, the ending of the first Fantastic Beasts was just, there was something so joyous about him having those memories subconsciously in his baking. I loved that. I thought that was so good. And for what's the sister's name, Winnie, or I forget what her name is. When she shows up in the bakery, and it was just the best. Like, that's the look, man. Like, that's that like hopeless romantic look in your face right there that you're just so excited to see. I loved it. I thought it was great.
Yeah, so I'm super excited for that as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
100%. So moving on, I have a little bit of a gripe though, because one of the movies I was so excited for, the Stay Quiet, I think is what it was, with John Krasinski and all of them. Quiet Place. They now have this like extended trailer that totally ruins the movie. I was so mad at it. I was so mad at it. They show the monster.
Well, they show the little boy on the bridge.
Yeah, and he like turns on, and then she's talking, and it shows a baby. I'm just like, I'm so mad. Like,
I wasn't happy with that either.
And literally every time that trailer starts to come on now, I just close my eyes in the theater.
I don't want to.
I just close my eyes.
It tells you what is out there.
Yeah.
Or at least, I don't want to go any further, but because I don't want to ruin it for those that are listening that love the quest and don't want to be spoiled. Just don't watch any more. If you're interested in seeing that movie, don't watch any more trailers.
Do everything you can to avoid that trailer, because I really feel it spoils that flick.
Absolutely gave away too much.
It's so disappointing, because I loved the first trailer. Like, the first trailer they released for it, I thought was perfect. It gave us just enough. And now this one is shit. So, whatever.
Fully agree.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I asked you earlier this week, I was like, if you haven't seen the box office, don't see it.
Yeah.
Did you see the box office reports or hear about them?
I have not even gotten near them. I saw a little like blurb about them as I was going through some site stuff for Nerd Mosh Pit earlier this week, and I avoided it. I literally was like, don't go over there. Bcon told me not to check it out, so I avoided it.
So I thought we could do something real quick, and let's talk about the top grossing movies from this last weekend.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we had some new movies that came out. We had Wrinkle in Time came out.
Yep.
Blacking out right now on it. The Strangers came out.
The Strangers. You also had movies like, Red Sparrow was out last week or the week before.
So what do you think was the top grossing movie over this last weekend?
I know what I want to say. I want to say it's Black Panther again, but I doubt it. That's what it is.
Ding, ding, ding.
No.
Yes. Black Panther was the #1 grossing movie.
Oh, yes.
$1,817,000. I mean, that's down 38%.
So that's what was the number?
This is like week 5 for them. 40 million. Sorry,
40 million for the weekend.
Yeah.
And Wrinkle of Time couldn't get over 40.
Yeah. So Wrinkle.
Man, wow.
Wrinkle of Time was second with 33 million.
Still to get beat out. Oof. I mean,
third was Strangers with 10 million.
That's rough.
And then Red Sparrow with 8.
That's rough. That's rough. That shows me. Well, it shows me two things. One, that Black Panther is as amazing as I thought it was, because people are still out there watching it. But two, obviously, Wrinkle in Time is not generating some good buzz right now. I haven't looked at any reviews on Wrinkle of Time. I've actually been staying very far away, because I'm going to go watch that. I'm going to go watch it tomorrow, actually. I've already, I got the time, I got the place, I've got it all set up. When I'm done with work, I'm going to go watch Wrinkle in Time. So,
Hurricane Heist came in 9th.
It was
only $3 billion.
Was Hurricane Heist above or below Love, Simon? Well, actually, Love Simon comes out this week. I saw a pre-screening of it, so yeah,
exactly.
You're right.
So it's not technically listed yet. So it's
okay.
technical premiere date would be
this week.
tonight.
Yeah, tonight. So please go watch. If you guys are watching this, please go. Like, if you're seeing this and you haven't seen it already, hopefully we'll have this out here soon, audio wise. If you're watching it, you're listening to it, go support that flick. Like, it is really a fun movie. There was many times, and we'll talk about it later, but man, there's many times in that movie it made me have this biggest smile on my face I've had in a long time in a theater. And it just did great. It did great. So please go support that, because that deserves more money than Hurricane Heist. It deserves a lot more money than Red Sparrow, even in my opinion. So
yeah, for sure. I know we've talked about this, and I haven't locked in my picks yet this week, but there's this new game out that Big Papa and I are gonna just try it out. We're gonna test drive it.
I'm looking forward to it.
We're gonna test drive and just see. It's on most of your movie screens previews before the previews before the previews, and it's called Fantasy Movie League. And you basically get screens and you pick which movies you want to show on your screen, and then you find out how much money you made for that week. So based on box office numbers. So just a little fun game. We're gonna try it out. If we like it, we'll pass it on to you. We'll have a league and everything, and you can join. And
yeah.
We'll let you, the listeners, challenge us as well. So.
I think that'll be fun, just purely off the premise of you get to, kind of put wagers, like a fantasy draft on which movies will have the most gross over the weekend. And I think that's cool. It's
like your movie theater, basically. And what are you going to show on your 8 screens that you can show? And you literally could show the same movie on 8 screens.
Yep.
If you that's the one that's going to get you the W.
Well, and I didn't know you could I didn't know you could do it on all 8 like that. That's kind of cool. This was going to be a good test for me to see if I'm going to be worthy of owning a movie theater in the future. So how good my box office anticipation is, right. my predictions, if you will. Nice. So what have you caught up on since last we spoke, dude?
So let's see. I've seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we were both at 14 last time we talked to everybody. So I have hit 6 movies since then. So I am currently at a count of 20.
Okay.
Is that where you're at as well?
So then you're right on the money. I am still got my 2 flicks this week to watch. I haven't been able to watch anything since Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I've been busy. So.
Well, are you at 20? I thought you were at 20.
Yeah, so the last flicks we talked about on this were Annihilation. That was my last movie I saw here. So I've watched Peter Rabbit, Red Sparrow, Thoroughbreds, and Love, Simon since then. So I have 4.
Oh, so let me update my Thoroughbreds. And yeah, so we're both the same then. And Love, Simon. That's right. So I saw I keep taking your recommendations, by the way. All right, I told you I saw Game Night, right? No?
Oh, yeah, Game Night. I don't think we talked about it on the show, though. I don't think we talked about it on the show.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, I don't think you talked about Game Night last time. So we both saw Game Night.
No, we talked about it because I watched Mary and the Witch, because we recorded right after I watched Mary and the Witch's Flower and Game Night and Annihilation. So we recorded the night after I watched Annihilation.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, and I must have been a little bit. Anyway, I saw Game Night. Because I saw Game Night in Death Wish, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Okay, cool. Sorry, everybody. We're back on track. It's literally been almost 3 weeks for us.
Yeah, it has.
So I went and saw Annihilation as well. I was able to catch Mary and the Witch's Flower. It actually popped into one of my cheaper theaters, and I was so stoked.
Yeah.
So I went and saw Annihilation on my Movie Pass, and then turned around and went to the cheap theater and saw Mary and the Witch's Flower same day. So
very
knocked
cool.
those 2 out. I did see Wrinkle in Time on opening night, and then I went last weekend, and I finally saw Every Day. So I have seen Every Day now as well.
Nice.
Which was the one that I was really wanting to watch, and we talked about it multiple times on this show. So, so I am clearly at 20 as well.
Nice.
And I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I think I'm going to watch a movie tomorrow night, and then I got to catch one more, so I'm still on pace. But I've got a comic convention that I'm actually going to.
Nice. Yes.
Weekend, so.
I'm not going to go to WonderCon, so I'm going to be watching some flicks, man. I've got NCAA basketball on the mind and movies this weekend. So
I did not fill out a bracket, by the way.
Oh, you messed
My
up.
first time, and I don't know how. I cannot tell you. I can't remember the last time I didn't fill out a bracket.
Yeah, especially since Gonzaga is getting so much hype, and I know you'd been on that train. So
I did tell you who I thought. I said Zaga and I can't remember what other team. But I told you Gonzaga would have been my.
I know. I have it and a text message before brackets went out, so you did call it. Yes.
Official. It's official.
Yeah, I fill out 2 brackets. I fill out a head bracket and a heart bracket. And on the heart bracket every year, Arizona takes it all the way. I don't care what it is. Arizona takes it all the way every year. So they're the only Pac-12 team left in the tournament. ASU got booted with the singles.
In the first 4.
Yeah. So they're the only ones. So that's I was watching ESPN. They said that was like the first time forever. But this isn't a basketball talk show. This is a movie talk show.
No,
so.
Sorry. Hey, one of the things that happened since we last talked. There's one other thing that happened, and there's one thing we both need to do.
Okay.
Because a certain movie.
Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right. We had
the Oscars,
dude. Holy heck! Oh man, I completely
get jacked, people. Get jacked. Guillermo, you're the man.
Guillermo, we are not worthy. We are not worthy, Guillermo. Dude.
We were texting so everybody knows the background. We were texting while the Oscars were going on in this big group chat for Malice Corp. And by the way, make sure you check out our website, www.malice-corp.com. You can check out all our different reviews and articles. But we have a big group chat. And so we were talking about the Oscars and about, what was coming up next and who was going to win. And man, I had the feeling that it was going to make it, but I wasn't willing to say it, to speak it to the universe. And then, man, Guillermo gets Best Director. Guillermo gets Picture of the freaking Year, man.
He
gets audio.
He gets audio. Oh, man, that was so good. 4, right? Did he get 4 of the 9 nominations?
Yeah, I got 4 of them.
Yeah, so good for him. And especially for him being directly tied to 3 of them, that is the cooler part of all that. So God, good for him. Good for that team, that crew. We talked about it. We talked about Shape of Water being our favorite film, from last year, and
still my favorite scene so far because I saw it in 2018, so it's still my favorite movie I have seen this year.
There you go. Enough said for B. I personally, my biggest thing with this is like one of the first times where going into the Oscars, you always have that movie that you're rooting for. And, I'm not the classical, guy that, has the normal predictions and all that stuff. But this was the year where I was like, man, maybe the movie I loved the most will actually win it this year. And sure enough, man, I was blown away. I thought 3 Billboards was going to start taking it, especially after she won lead actress. I was just like, Frances McDermott, like she's got it. Like she's gonna take this home. Sam Rockwell won for leading supporting actor. I was like, there's just no way. There's no way that Guillermo's gonna get this. And sure enough, he did, and I was so happy. Oh, I was so happy.
And my boy, I called it. I called Gary Oldman performance of the year in Darkest Hour, and he got it as well. So hats off to Gary Oldman and that huge victory there too. And I was listening to Nerd Mosh Pit, by the way, the other day, and I noticed one of the things you said was this was one of the first years where you had seen every movie up for Picture of the Year other than Phantom Thread.
Yeah, and then and it's one of those things. Phantom Thread I didn't see, and then I completely forgot what's it's with Gary Oldman and stuff like that. I haven't seen that either. Yeah, so Darkest Hour. So that was we had talked enough about it on this show and off air that I feel like you knew. I knew a lot about Darkest Hour. I didn't know really anything about Phantom Thread. So yeah.
Well, Phantom Thread was a great Daniel Day-Lewis performance. The movie itself was so.
Yeah, and you're going to get that no matter what. I mean, Daniel Day is going to come and drop the mic. He's going to come and flop his man junk on a table anytime he's acting on screen. So that's needless to say. It's a matter of, what's going to be around him. And usually he needs those other super powerful performances around him to make those movies, over the top. And I don't know, from what I saw of clips of Phantom Thread, things like that, it didn't look like that was there. So
yeah, that was it was not the best movie I've seen, but one of the best performances though.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, the only one, man, and I called this one. I knew that Allison Janney was gonna be tough to beat her for I, Tonya for supporting actress. But man, I wanted Octavia Spencer so bad.
We both did, but I mean, to your point, Janney, she killed it, dude. She just killed that role, and
yeah. And when you see someone like Allison Janney win it, like how just down to earth she is, how sweet she is, how kind she is, it's hard to root against someone that's just that amazing as well. So I'm really happy for Allison Janney. I'm so happy she got that. Octavia, don't worry, I'm gonna be your champion, Octavia. I'm rooting for you. I've already said I need you in more films, anyways. Quest for 100 is gonna ride you all the way to the show till you get that Oscar. So don't you worry, Octavia. We're here for you.
Yeah, definitely one of our favorites. So, and I'm still so excited, dude. I'm still so jacked for Shape of Water. I'm so excited about what this means for Hollywood and what it means for Guillermo.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of those, like, shut the F up. I know what I'm doing. If you just let me go full bore, no handcuffs, no restrictions, and let me do my movie, I can do great things. And I feel like he's been handicapped his entire career up until this point where he really gets his own freedom to do something, and then he just wows us.
Well,
and that may or may not be completely true. It might just be my viewpoint. So
well, and the thing is, I don't know what it is about Guillermo where I felt like he was kind of blacklisted a little bit by Hollywood, because for the last few years, we sit in the Comic-Con Hall H in San Diego, and there's 8,000 something people in there, and Guillermo comes out and the whole place erupts. That no one gets an applause like Guillermo gets an applause, and he has to come into this hall and he talks about the movie he's doing, and yet he's sitting there and he has producers in the back, he has Hollywood of folks in the back, and he has to sit there and beg them to listen to how much the crowd wants his work. And I think now that he has this Oscar, it's just going to legitimize every single thing he talks about. And so they know now, I think all of Hollywood is now on notice. You let Guillermo run his show, you give him the money to do everything he needs to do, he's going to crush every single thing that he's given the ability to do. He's going to have a phenomenal story, a phenomenal movie, phenomenal acting. Everything will be an opportunity to win awards, to make money. And I think Shape of Water legitimized that for him.
Yeah, and it makes me so happy, dude.
It's so good.
So happy when it's a movie that I love winning to begin with, and so when it's a movie that I really was backing and I think is the best movie, when it wins, man.
Yeah. It's a great feeling, and it's just because it just always boggled me. I every year, like I said at Comic-Con, when he comes out and does that, I look over to my right, because Mest is usually on my right. What's him and his wife, and I'm usually talking over his wife, like, Mest, why does Guillermo have to come out here and do that? Like, it drives me crazy that there's people out there in this world with these big fat billfolds going like, Guillermo del Toro, I mean, you could get a crowd going, but I'm not going to give you money to make a movie.
Yeah, there's people making the Hurricane Heist crap.
Oh, yeah.
Voting the crap out of that, but
yeah,
we can't get Shape of Water. So
exactly.
Anyway, we talked about that last week. We can't beat a dead horse too much here. Gotta move on a little bit.
I guess we could. It's all right.
Let's talk about what we watched. We already talked about it, but let's just kind of look through the movies. And was there something that really stood out as being just completely amazing? I don't remember talking too much about Annihilation.
Yeah,
I hadn't seen it yet.
I don't think you had seen it yet. But the big thing with Annihilation that was just so good for me was that it was something very different. It was something I had not seen before, sci-fi wise, suspense wise, and I love that they kind of dipped their toe into that horror pool. Because one of my favorite, kind of sci-fi horror films is Event Horizon. And yeah. I felt Annihilation kind of embodied some of that just over the top, just what the hell is going on feeling. So definitely not as dark or as brutal as Event Horizon. But, man, there was a scene in there with that monster in the cabin where I was like, oh, and I mean, everybody around us is like, what the hell? What the, oh God. Like,
there was almost that like xenomorph moment as well.
yes.
So it made me think of Alien a little bit as well, which is one of my favorite sci-fi horrors.
And
yeah, man,
and boy, did it look good too. That was, they just had some great practical effects too.
So visually stunning. Natalie Portman killed it. That whole cast was great. The story was excellent, and to me, it felt like it was like the little movie that could. There were so many people that, I mean, it did not get a lot of love when it came out. Like, it was kind of getting some hate, and I think it was an awesome movie. They put together a great movie. It was fun. It was visually stunning. It was scary at moments. And then really in the end, like, I left that, and that movie felt so good. Like, I felt great after leaving that movie. It had an interesting ending to it, and still made you think about what was really going on. I'm still puzzled as to what exactly happened.
Yeah, like that. It definitely was one of those films where when I got out of it, I'm like, man, either I'm really dumb and missed something, or holy hell, they did a great job with that. You know, so
you're like, wait.
Wait, what? Okay. All right. Well, way to knock that out of the park. The one who actually really surprised me with it, like Natalie Portman, I expect a lot out of her. I really enjoy Natalie Portman a lot. But Jennifer Jason Leigh, dude, everything she's kind of been doing lately, she's been like just this crazy knucklehead that you just want to shut up. She's just annoying me on screen. Like Hateful Eight, I was so happy when Kurt Russell was punching her in the face. You know, like Good Times. She was in Good Times with Robert Pattinson recently, and every time she's on screen, she just was screaming and yelling and just losing her mind. And you're like, shut the hell up! Like, I don't enjoy you anymore, Jennifer Jason Leigh. But then in this, I'm like, she was captivating, dude. Like, I loved her character. I had no idea what was going on with her character. I thought she played it so well that then when they finally kind of talked about what was going on with her, I was like, oh, shit. Okay. Yeah. And I was really impressed with her in this film as well.
I totally agree with that as well. Yeah.
Very happy to see her kind of back in action. You know, she's always been Fast Times at Ridgemont High, little virgin girl, and now she's this super mature, great actress. And that's, I always love seeing that and hearing those kind of Hollywood tales, if you will. So
yeah. So the same day I saw Annihilation, I saw Mary and the Witch's Flower, and what was really cool is I had my youngest son with me, who watches a lot of anime, loves anime, and I was like, you know, it's a little bit different. You know, but it's made by the same guy who made, and I started kind of listing off the old studio Ghibli movies, and he was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll watch it. And so we went and checked it out, and yeah, man, we both thoroughly enjoyed it. We did have an issue in the middle of the movie with like the whole screen went out, so the audio was going, but there was no visual. Oh, and they were rough. Cool. It only took a couple minutes. They fixed it. They actually rewound it, reset it, and it was towards the end, so it was kind of a weird moment. But when you're going to a smaller, cheap theater, it's sometimes things happen.
Sometimes things will happen like that. Yeah, absolutely. My little indie theater
Tuesday, so we got free popcorn.
Oh yeah.
There's things you don't complain about when you're getting free popcorn and you're paying $2 to see a movie. So
that's awesome. No, that's really cool. It's
really good though. I enjoyed it very much.
And that's good to hear. I loved it as well. I had a lot of fun with Mary and the Witch's Flower. I'm always just super happy to see those cool tales like that as well, where it may not be like that standard archetype of hero and fantasy and adventure. You know, the Studio Ghibli has always been known for having kind of your underdog characters, your female heroines, things of that nature. But what they do is they crush that archetype out of the water, in my opinion. Like, I love what they do with that. I thought those characters were so strong. And what was even better about it is you never had those moments where you questioned, would this character actually do something, right? Like, they're always that true, good of heart, heroine character, and the actions that they're taking, the actions that they're making, you're like, hell yeah, she would absolutely do that. Like, there's nothing that you sit there and you're boggled by a decision someone's made. So, always a big fan. But real quick story. So, Speaking of like tiny little indie theaters, I don't know if I've said this on the show, but when I watched The Last Jedi, I go to this little tiny theater. What was really cool was it was right as the news of the Fox and Disney merger were happening. Like it had just kind of said it had gone down that night when Last Jedi premiered. And so what they did was they actually took the 20th Century Fox opening scroll and put it at the front of the movie. So you got your old school Star Wars opening, drum rolls and pomp and circumstance kind of thing. So it was great, man. I love that. I thought that was really cool. And only kind of things like that where that happens at an indie theater, because your big AMCs and Cinemarks and stuff, they're not going to do stuff like that. So I loved it. Anyways, so I went and saw Peter Rabbit. Yes, I did. I went and saw Peter Rabbit. Once again, it was all to avoid 50 Shades Freed. So there was that. Also, you don't want to go watch stuff like Hurricane Heist. So, you take some of these movies. But what you talked about earlier, Doug the Animation, Domhnall Gleeson really was this weird kind of character. It felt like he took the general from Star Wars and just placed him into this rabbit adventure, so he kind of felt a little out of place. But for some reason, the guy is just so damn charming that I love him. So it was hard. And then what's her name? Rose, whatever, is just amazing as well. She's phenomenal. So if you got kids, anything like that, Peter Rabbit's a lot of fun. It does have some really funny moments, some cool things as well. And then Red Sparrow. So did you get to check this out yet? Have you watched this?
I have not.
Okay.
And I'll be honest, part of it was our conversation about it.
Yeah. So Red Sparrow.
Like, I could wait.
Yeah, Red Sparrow. I really, honestly, and I've talked to a couple people at work about this as well. A couple people have started watching it. It took about an hour and 45 minutes, almost an hour 50, before anything actually useful happened. You see kind of why certain things happen and what happened, but you could have literally have cut a whole set piece of where she's in this school out completely, and it would have been the exact same story, the exact same reasonings, and I think you could have built a better relationship between her and her uncle, who kind of end up having this, kind of are involved in some of the last scenes and moments of the film. And if you could have just built around those two characters better and let those two characters shine and let Jennifer Lawrence kind of be a little bit more her of this kind of character stuck in this awful world, and her Russian, political uncle, I think that would have been such a cooler story. You could have developed those two more. You had Jeremy Irons in there, who I just felt kind of went to waste because they didn't spend a lot of time in that set piece and in those storylines where I felt most of that story should have taken place. So now here's the thing with it though. If you are willing to go in and spend that hour and 45 minutes or so in the theater or during that movie, Jennifer Lawrence gets naked a lot in it. So there's that. But that's not enough for some people to go buy movie tickets.
No.
The
whole
last
35 minutes though was good.
That last 20 was excellent. It was really, really, like when it started going down, you were like, oh hell yeah, this is awesome. Like this was really cool. Had a nice little spin at the end there that made it a strong finish. It was a slug getting there was the issue. So
yeah. I'll talk about my next. So Wrinkle time. I'm glad you're going to go see it tomorrow because I'm anxious to hear what you think about it.
Yeah.
We've both obviously read the book as kids, right? You read the book?
Nope. Mm-mm.
Whoa.
Never read Wrinkle in Time.
Read Madeline Ingle? Oh, bro.
Nope. Never. Actually, honestly, I have never even heard of this story until Disney put it out as the movie.
It's an older story too, so
yeah, never heard of it.
I want to say it was written in like early 80s.
I've probably seen the book in a library when I was a kid, and I was like, no, I'm gonna go to Goosebumps instead.
Yeah. Arnold Stein. You may want to go back and pick up the book. It's a couple hundred pages long. It's an easy read.
I was thinking about it. I really was. I was thinking about just doing an Audible, and I could crush it in a couple of commute sessions. I don't know. I honestly, it doesn't do a whole lot for me. So if I like the movie, I'll go get the book for sure.
Or at least if you watch the movie and you're like, I like the concept.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then go listen to the book. The book's actually, it's got multiple parts to it. It's a trilogy, but most people don't even know that.
Gotcha.
So I don't. anticipate them doing more, especially with the way that it looks like it's starting off in the box office. It's not doing well, and I know they put a lot of money into it because there's a lot of CGI and there's a lot of special effects.
I just feel that they didn't do a great job of setting this movie up for success, because I think they tried to show off people like Mindy and Zach Galifianakis and Reese Witherspoon. That's Reese, right? Is that Reese? Okay, yeah. I think they showed them too heavy in the trailers, and I didn't know what to make of the film. I didn't know if this was going to be some kind of jokey comedy film or a time travel epic sci-fi. I had no idea. And
sci-fi is probably the best place to put it.
I just would have no idea. Like, I don't know if this was a fantasy turn. Obviously, they're dealing with time and space, so you're thinking more sci-fi. But then you have these like really two big comedic actors and actresses with Zach Galifianakis and Mindy, and I don't get it. I didn't get that. I didn't get why they were doing that. I felt like, if they really felt good about those two characters, especially being in the film, I think you just put their name up on the board and you let us like kind of experience those characters and let us make that own decision. I think honestly, because from what I've heard, people just seeing the trailer are like, I don't want to see that. Like Zach Galifianakis, like I'm not gonna take that thing seriously, So I feel like they did themselves a little disservice by kind of selling that up front.
Yeah, this is one where I almost think that they needed to give away more in the trailer rather than showcase. I would almost argue, instead of even showcasing those actresses and characters, is to more focus on like more of what it's about, and that just the story alone of what it's really about, I think would have drawn people in to see it.
Yeah,
because it is a great story. I was sick when I watched this movie, like sick on like cold medicine sick, and so I'm not a great judge of how good this movie was. I actually kind of nodded off a couple times. I didn't miss a lot, but it was enough to where I was like, I had to reorientate myself with what was going on in the movie. So I'm not a great. I like it. That's why I said I'm anxious to hear what you think of it.
Gotcha.
Because I don't know what to make of it because of those moments and the book's always better than the movie.
Yeah, absolutely. And maybe Disney thought they're just going to ride off the success of the book and they could just throw something out. I mean, I don't know, but I really think they should have spent more time focused on the main character, the little girl. I think
little girl and her brother. Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's where the trailers probably should have spent more time, and I think they would have done a better job selling it. And I think what would have been a better conversation for us to have would be here sitting down and going, dude, did you watch Wrinkle of Time? Zach Galifianakis and Mindy, they crushed it. Or Reese crushed it. Oprah was amazing as always. Instead of
they were in it.
Yeah. Oh man, I saw their name on one of the trailers, but I didn't even see what kind of character they were. It was kind of cool to see them. I think that would have been something better for them. So
I'll agree. How was Thoroughbreds?
So Thoroughbreds is really interesting. So Thoroughbreds did a couple of things really, really well. First off, I always enjoy watching an actor or actress's last movie they did. I kind of like to see that last note of what was kind of put out into the world, right? And Thoroughbreds is actually Anton Yelton's last movie that he's ever filmed. And there is a big point all of a sudden when he's in there, he's hot and heavy in the film, and then there's a decent gap of about 30, 40 minutes where he's gone. And you can tell something wasn't quite right, where this is probably where they missed filming him and they had to do some reshoots and re-edits and things of that nature, because it was just kind of a plug and a pull where he was just all of a sudden kind of gone. But it made sense where they left him out of it and things of that nature. But it kind of gave the story two really weird sides that they didn't mesh as well as they could have.
Which is tough. I mean,
it is.
All things considered, that's so difficult.
Yeah, but all the characters are phenomenal. Joy or what is her name? Anya Joy Taylor, I think, or something like that is her name. The main girl from that was in The Witch, the horror film there. She is so good. She is like, the character she plays is kind of the waspy, bratty little rich girl that you just kind of want to hate. Mm-hmm. but at the same time, you're just kind of so pulled in by her character where you kind of love to hate her. You know, she's such a good actress, and she's going to be, you know, part of the New Mutants film that's coming out as well. And, you know, she's just so good. I've always enjoyed watching her on the screen. She was also in Split, the last movie with, I can't think of his name right now, Shyamalan, M. Night Shyamalan. So, man, she's great. I thought she crushed it in the film. The payoff was really nice in the film. It's not maybe a movie I want to root for, like how it all ended, but at the same time, I thought it was a really kind of dark and grim, and I enjoyed how it ended up turning out, because it was this kind of very dastardly kind of payoff, you know, kind of a thing. So really weird, very interesting, great acting. It's not going to be for everybody, though. I'm just going to put that out there. It's not going to be an everybody kind of flick. It's not got a ton of laughs or anything like that. It is a very kind of a dark place movie. You're going to have to. It's definitely, you're not going to walk out of it probably smiling and shining. You're probably going to walk out of there a little bit more like, when this rain cloud hit me in the head, you know.
Right.
So. But really good nonetheless. And Anton Yelton crushed again. Like, it just made me miss him so much more because of how good he was in that film.
That's tough.
Yeah, it really was. And, you know, at the end of the film, they did a great, you know, in loving memory of Anton and stuff like that. And that was awesome. Like, that's the best part of it.
Definitely.
So I would recommend, if you're a huge fan of Anton Yelton, then you have to see this film. If you're just interested in something that's a little dark, a little different, I would recommend it as well. If you're needing something to brighten up your day and pick up the step in your boots, this is not that flick. That movie is the next one I saw, which is Love, Simon.
One thing I wanted to say is I love these last two movies we're going to talk about.
Yeah. So
Love, Simon and Every Day, because I think there's some great themes that connect the two of them together. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Go ahead, you start it off.
Okay, I'll definitely go. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with this extra screen time. I know not everybody is, but I enjoy it. So, so Love, Simon. What was really good about Love, Simon was it was a surprising tale for me, where I kind of knew what it was about. You know, young man struggling with having to come out to his parents and the school and the world. And what the best part of this was, I thought, was how much you sat there and you really empathize with this character, because you realize how unfair it really was. But when you look at his life, you're like, there's nothing unfair about his life. He has a great mom, a great dad, this great family. But everything about his life and that the secret that he is holding on to was just what was so unfair. That this is the kind of this is the kind of kid here that should never have to deal with that. And anybody that's going through it should never have to go through this. We put such pressure on our society as a whole to be a certain piece and a person, that this movie did a great job of showing how unfair it really is for those kids in that place. And it did nothing but give you a big, warm, heartful smile. It was a great coming of age tale. And that was what I think was the best part. It wasn't like this love story about a kid in school who comes out to the world and now he's looking for love. You know, it's not that. It is a great coming of age tale, and the pressures of being in high school as a kid now in high school, and how much harder that is than it's ever been. With just social media and people constantly being in contact and you never being able to pull away from that world. And holy hell, they did such a great job of telling the story, of having it be something that was inspiring and enlightening. And the first movie of the year, and I tweeted this out, this is the first movie of the year for me that not only had me on the edge of my seat, that had me holding my breath, that had the whole theater at one point. And I will have to admit, I dropped some tears in this film because of just how good it was, how heartfelt it was. And at the same time, it's been so long since I've been in the theater. Like, we've had great reactions at Black Panther, people cheering, being excited, but I've never been in a theater where the whole theater took the same breath in, held that breath, and until kind of the big moment is revealed, did we all exhale and cheer and have a smile on our face all at the same time. And I couldn't see anybody else in that theater, but it was packed, and I knew that everybody had the same smile on my face that they did. And it was amazing to kind of be in that moment and have that experience. I mean, I mean, there was points where there was people behind me, and I heard them like ugly, hard crying of how like I was like, oh, like it's okay, like, you know, it's all right, like it's a good thing, like, and, you know, they're just so happy to be a part of it.
Passing back napkins to
oh dude, like, yeah, like, I mean, just offering my M&Ms, like, are you want some candy, like, it'll be okay. But
that's cool, man. I love movies where people come together.
It was great.
That's fantastic.
Phenomenal film. One of the best payoffs of a film I've ever seen. I can't say more great things about it. Wally West from The Flash is in there.
Oh, cool.
The older brother from Jurassic World is the main character in that as well. Nick Richardson, I want to say, something like that. I'm going to look his name up because he deserves a shout out, because he absolutely crushed that role. So here we go. IMDb it. Nick Robinson, not Richardson, Robinson. And then Catherine Langford, the girl from 13 Ways to Die on Netflix, she's also the best friend in that. So phenomenal young cast, phenomenal movie. I cannot recommend this one enough. Like, this is that feel good tale. Like, it'll do all the right things you need it to do for you.
Cool. That rounds us out with my last movie watched, which was Every Day. We've talked about it a little bit on here. I was anticipating it. It's basically it's like that body switch kind of movie, but you're following a character who wakes up every day in a different body, and then falls in love, and the girl falls in love back with this person. And there's a couple things and couple themes in this movie that really just stood out to me, and that were just super, super interesting, and that I loved about it. I will say, like, it's probably a movie that not everybody's gonna like. Not everybody's gonna fall in love with the movie. I thought it was really done well. I thought it was a good movie. It was a cute movie. Made me feel good. Made me feel good about life and about the world in general. That's always good. Because some of the themes are like identity, and like what really makes you and you who you are. Like, you're not this outward appearance that everybody sees. You're who you are inside, and you're who you act, you know, how you act and how you speak and how you love. Like, those are the things that I think make this movie such a true movie, like a true feel good movie that matters. And then of course there's that theme of like of love in general, and of like the freedom to just love. Yeah. To love regardless. And I think that's kind of what Every Day brings to you, is that feeling of like, because you don't know the sexual identity of this person that switches the body. I don't even think that person really understands. And I think there's actually a line in it where the girl asks the person, like, do you identify as a male or female? And he's like, what is that? Why does that even matter? Nice. So there's some really interesting, I think, concepts that are relevant to today and today's conversations that just show through in that movie in a really gentle way, and in a way that's not like all up in your face, but in a way that's really done really in softness and love and gentleness. So really, really enjoyed it. I would recommend it. I would go see it again. Yeah, so I definitely love the movie, and yeah. Nice. Hopefully you get a chance to go check it out at some point.
Yeah, it's playing in a couple of theaters right now, and I'll have to definitely check it out, because I know one of my next films up, I'm going to go. And actually, real fast before I talk about that real quick, because the guy, Nick Robinson from Love, Simon, I just looked up his IMDb. I'm on here while you're kind of talking. And the movie that actually he was one of the first movies I saw him in that I loved, and I love this movie to death, was The Kings of Summer. He's the main character, Joe, and it's about three young men who kind of take off for the summer into the wilderness and disappear from their parents, and all their parents think they're runaways, but it's just kind of them being adventurous and finding themselves and hunting and doing, and it's a really great, once again, kind of coming of age film. So Nick Robinson, dude, You have a new huge fan. I'm going to be wearing your face on a shirt soon enough. I promise you. So, but no, so I really do plan on going and seeing. I'd like to really go see Gringo. I haven't heard a ton about Gringo, but I've seen it in a couple of theaters, and I kind of like the idea of a super cannabis pill, to change the world kind of a thing. So
well, it's a dark comedy, and it's got some incredible actors and actresses in it. So that's one of the ones that I was like, man, I gotta find time to go see Gringo because it's not getting a lot of hype or love, but I'm like, man, this looks like it could be one of those movies that just sneaks up on you.
Right? Yeah, there's something about it. There's something about it there that you're kind of like, this could be really good. Like, I got to check this. And because Charlize Theron's in it, right? Like,
yes.
I'm a huge fan of Charlize. Also, so have you seen the trailer for her new like mom movie? I forget the name of that, but
I know which one you're talking about. I can't think of the name either because it's
IMDb.
Like, well, yeah, because the name of it's the whatever the lady's name is, Miss something or
whatever. Let's see here, actress.
The lady
Tully. It's gonna be Tully. Yes, Tully. I'm here to take care of you. My name's Tully.
Exactly.
That actually looks very interesting as well. But what's crazy is Charlize in that. And then you see her in Gringo, and you're like, oh, how did she have that transformation so quickly? Like, there's definitely got to be some kind of prosthetics on there, but you know how much she loves getting into her roles and being a part of those roles and doing that kind of stuff. And she will absolutely have huge body changes in such big ways that, that's just how amazing she is. So, once again, one of your number one fans, Charlize. It's me. But yeah, Gringo's looking. I think it's looking pretty solid. I'm actually pretty excited. I want to check that out for sure. Other than that, no, kind of Wrinkle of Time and Gringo are the next two on the list that I got to see, and I'll have to check out something else this weekend. I want to try to get one tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, try to get kind of ahead by one because, well, we have Ready Player One obviously coming out next week, so I'm super excited about that. But I mean, Tomb Raider comes out this weekend, so I'm considering giving that a shot. It's looked pretty good, but I've heard that it's already getting killed by critics. And I know critics are not always the best source to rely on when you're thinking about going to see a movie and whether or not it's good or not, quote, good.
Yeah.
Because what are they basing it off of? And I like to base it off of when I leave the theater. Do I feel good or not?
Yeah.
Do I enjoy myself?
Yeah, absolutely.
So considering that, obviously considering
Tomb Raider's out tonight. It's premiering tonight. Maybe I'll go catch it tonight. One of the 10 o'clock shows, something like that.
Yeah, it was released this weekend, so I knew it was going to be either tonight or tomorrow.
Yeah, so this weekend, we in the theater, it's going to be Tomb Raider. I Can Only Imagine, which is based on a singer, right? Kind of wandering the world with his songs and stuff like that.
I can tell you a little bit. I'm actually really familiar with the song and the artist. So yeah, it's actually it is a Christian song, so it's made by like religion. I'm going to assume that it carries that religious tone to it, but it does look like a good movie in the sense of, one, it's an amazing story, true story, and it's kind of the reason behind why he wrote the song the way he did, because of basically a redemption with his father. So I'll probably go watch it. I may not get to it this weekend. But I'll watch it just because I know the song really well, and I know a lot about the details of the story. So it'll be interesting for me to see how well they pull that off and how it goes. And you know what? You can say all you want. I am still a sucker for Dennis Quaid. I'm still a fan of the guy. You can say whatever you want about his politics, his beliefs, whatever, but I always enjoy seeing him on the screen. So that definitely will be something I think about. But you also have a movie we've mentioned on here many times, and maybe I'm going to have to bite the bullet on this one, depending on what my times. But you have Hurricane Heist. But the new Strangers Prey at Night flick is also out. Thoroughbreds, Death Wish, Red Sparrow. 7 Days Gone Tombe, is that out already? That's out. That came out.
That'll be out this week. Okay, sweet. There you go as well. So that's a nice one as well. Yeah, no, and that one actually looks really good too. I'm loving the trailer for that flick for sure. And
I love me some history.
Absolutely, and a great tale as well. So that's what we've got for you guys here. B, anything else you'd like to talk about before we break off for Quest for 100,
one last
man?
thing that I want to throw out, because it has been 3 weeks, and me and I know both of us, we're huge fans of our main man Kevin Smith. So just wanted to throw some love his way.
Absolutely,
love you, man. Glad that you're recovering well, because obviously in the last 3 weeks, I had the heart attack. We almost lost one of our favorites. All that year it is.
Yeah, I can't get enough of Smith. I'm a huge fan of his as well. Shout out to you, brother, buddy Christ and everything. Not gonna lie, I watching his Instagram post after his heart attack, man. I had tears reading it, man. Absolutely. I couldn't believe it. I was, which was weird. I'm not really a big like kind of, celebrities being hurt or dead, but I mean Kevin Smith is really the guy where I remember, in high school, watching Dogma and being able. That was one of the first movies where I stopped feeling like my mom was talking to me like a kid, and we were starting to have these adult conversations about me being able to make my own decisions and have my own thought processes and things like that. And movies like Red State, kind of my kind of renaissance of a nerd, if you will, after high school, where I was like, I love this stuff. I can't get enough of this shit. And it's so much because someone like Kevin Smith and what he does. Smodcast is the reason why I podcast today.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
and he's like, he's just a real dude that scrapped his way and worked his butt off to get to where he is, and literally risked everything to make his dreams come true. And like, if that's not the American dream, I don't know what the hell is, dude.
Yeah, no doubt.
Like, I don't know what the hell is. Like, so I love Kevin Smith. I love his movies. I love his family and just everything that he brings to the movie business, and even more so everything he brings to the comic business. I was holding up one of my favorite arcs of Green Arrow from our friend Kevin Smith. So definitely just wanted to give him some love. We're thinking about you. Hopefully the recovery continues to go well, so that we get so much more of our beloved Fat Man.
Yes, absolutely. And I mean, one of my favorite Batman books is The Widening Gyre that he did as well. Yes. There's not enough I can say about Kevin Smith in this world. I could do another 20-minute rants about the guy, about how much I love him and what he does and what he brings. But not, and you talk about his family, but even the people he surrounds himself with, I love Comic Book Men on AMC. I love his, right? I love all of his other shows. I love the things he produces. I love, some of his Flash episodes are always my favorite. When he does the directing for Supergirl episodes, those are some of the only episodes I watch in that show. And it's because I love seeing what he creates and what he's a part of.
Dinosaur is still one of my absolute favorite Flash episodes of all seasons.
I love you so much. I love you. Yes, absolutely. I can't get enough of the guy, and I'm so glad to hear he's doing well. He's already got some great photos up of him. And once again, he's still working his butt off, man. He still works his ass off. He's back podcasting. He's looking better than ever. The guy is a true inspiration on everything and every level he does it on. So,
absolutely.
With that being said, I think we're going to cut the show, man. I want to thank everybody. Make sure you're following us at malice-corp.com. Hit up our friends at Turbo Comics if you want to see any of the comic books we talked about with Kevin Smith's Green Arrow or his Widening Gyre books, anything like that as well. I got Spider-Man, and Green Goblin going on here as well if you want to check out any of that stuff. What's B got?
I got Deadpool riding a unicorn, or if for all our Monster Hunter fans out there, it's Deadpool riding a Kurin. So
yes, those dirty bastards of thunder.
I gotta go kill one right now. So
gotta go get us a Kurin before the night's over. But also, you guys can follow myself, the Big Papa Matt, on Twitter. You can also follow the show here, Quest for Movies, on Twitter as well. B, where can everybody follow you?
Yeah, follow me on Twitter at Bcon_MaliceCorp. You can also follow me on PlayStation Network, Bcon_MaliceCorp. Follow our main website at Malice Corp, and obviously check out the website www.malice-corp.com and watch this on Twitch. Hopefully it'll be out in a week or so. And well, you won't know that if you're watching, but if you listen on iTunes or Stitcher, drop us those 5-star reviews. It don't hurt you to do it. It helps us. We love you for it. Shout out to everybody that's done that already. Much love to you. Thanks for keeping it going. And remember, friends, do not let friends quest alone.
No, they don't. And then, yes, follow me, Son of Maku, on PlayStation Network. That's a good place to hit me up if you want to play some games, or you can yell at us. You can also email us at questfor100movies at gmail.com. And yeah, we want to thank you guys so much. We really appreciate the time, and I hope you have a great one. Enjoy.
Peace. Can't help it.
Then let us be rid of it. Once and for all.
It's a dangerous business, Frodo. Going out your door, you step onto the road, and if you don't keep your feet, there's no knowing where you might be swept off to.
Bye-bye, boys.
Have fun storming the castle.
Think it'll work?
It would take a miracle. Bye-bye.